Am I on? I'm trying to check if I'm on. All right. Okay, I'm back. I haven't done a reloading video here in a while. While I'm reloading 300 Blackout, guess what? I get a few messages. I actually got two questions because I was talking to a friend of mine. I had a question. He had a question about 300 Blackout. And I got a friend of mine and had a question about 308s. So, not to outdo them, they asked me, "Why do you still do 300 Blackout?" Well, okay, so I said, instead of sending them both messages, I thought I'd just create a video. So the title of the video is going to be why I really like 300 Blackout. All right, 300 Blackout is not 223556. I mean, I have to go start that in that direction because I have a lot of friends that's not into shooting, or even though they are, they only shoot 223556. All right. By the way, what am I doing right now? I'm putting case lube on my brass cartridges so that they are easier to push into the die when you're reloading it. You don't want any of these brass cartridges to be stuck on the die and now you're not able to ram it down and take it out so that you're off to the next process. You don't want to do that. Okay? So, anyway, why do I really like shooting 300 Blackout? Considering that 300 Blackout has a few downs and cons. To begin with, they're a lot more expensive to reload. Or if you're not into reloading, a lot more expensive to shoot. Because they take 308 rounds. Vice, hold on, don't go nowhere, guys. Don't go nowhere. Vice 223556 rounds. Now, this is what your traditional M4 variant M16 rounds use. So, as you can see the size, Jada, to your left is a 223556 round, 55 grain. To your right, it's a 308 round, 150 grain, right? So that's about 3 times its size. So when I started shooting ARs, I wasn't a fan of the 223, the venerable 223, because look at this. They are built primarily on speed. Okay? So they're not its effectivity on hitting the enemy, if you want to call it that way, is built on the predominance of distance and speed. I'm not that guy. I have my limitations. I'm retired Navy. I'm not saying that most Navy guys can't shoot. Well, we're not trained like the Army or the Marine Corps, wherein they get to shoot past, I don't know, 1,000 feet, which is about 300 to 400 yards, right? The Navy guys are just trained to within like 30, 40, 50 feet, no more than 100 feet. So to me, I don't need a speed. I don't need the distance. I need mass. So the very first AR I bought fired a 308 cartridge. And it's been 300 Blackout, right? It wasn't until my third AR that I bought my first 223556 because this is the norm. Okay, so if you want an easier way of accessing ammunition, any Western countries, which includes America, you're gonna have the traditional 223556. It's like the 9 millimeter round. You know, very few people fires a 45 now. Although 9 millimeter was introduced by Germany in the Europe, 45 was introduced here in America, but it's the default value now when it comes to purchasing and firing projectiles. 223556 and 9 millimeter rounds, right? So these are your 223556 cartridges. These are your 300 Blackout cartridges. The other advantage a 300 Blackout has, aside from mass, right? Voila. Okay, so this is the completed cartridge of a 300 Blackout. 308 round. Guess what? That brass cartridge is actually a neck down cartridge of a 223556. As you can see, they're both the same. Just that this thing was cut neck down and reshaped by allowing it to protrude through a desizing die, resizing die. Okay, that's a different topic of conversation. So those are two options. When you create a brass cartridge for 300 Blackout, you could literally use a 223556 die. I mean cartridge, right? So those are two advantages. So now I could use the same hardware to create a 223556 round, the one on top, for a 300 Blackout round, right? The one with a bullet right up there for the same brass. Just neck it down, okay? And they're cheap, even though you could purchase them substantially. You could create that brass for the 300 Blackout. Lastly, it shares the same primer, small pistol primer. As you can see, this one's spent because I haven't reloaded it yet, but this one's already good to go. I already reloaded it, deprimed it, reprimed it, and resized the brass cartridge. That's why I have a well-proven round right there. I'm done with it. And I just love shooting. There's another 300 Blackout. There's a little bit of recoil, a little bit more substantial than the 223556. People say that are used to shooting 223556 rounds are just, there's just simply no recoil, very few recoil, very little recoil, right? So that's also why we like it in the civilian world. The 223556 round is because everybody can almost shoot it, and there's a lot of byproducts, accessories that you could associate with a rifle, with the brass itself, especially the one that you're going to use to shoot it at, which kind of translates also into the 300 Blackout arena, right? Because it shares the same functionality as that rifle that we use to shoot a 223556 round, and all we need is to change the barrel, because of course the 300 Blackout uses a 308 bullet, which would require a wider barrel. So you just swap the barrel, and that's all you need. Everything stays the same. The lower receiver, the bolt carrier group, everything else. All right. So that is why. So I think the trade-off for me is great. I get to shoot a fatter round, and for a reloader, I don't use as much powder. Really, I don't. You'll have to understand that. Look at this. Look how tall that brass cartridge is for the 223556 and the 300 Blackout. This one I can only use up to 14 grains. This one I need to use about 18 to 20 grains of powder. So in this world where everything we have to save, including primers and powder, whatever we could save out of it, I'll take it. All right. So that's basically it. Hopefully you learned something today. Now this is my preference. This is my way of saying I want to shoot 300 Blackout because it does suits my preference and suits the style of how I want to shoot that particular bullet out of that particular cartridge. So hope you guys learned something today. All right. Enjoy the day. To the men and women out there that I've served with, that are continuously serving, God bless you. Come on home if you're forward deployed. We all love you. All right. It's been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor. Post.